everyone, welcome back to Chat with Nat. I'm your host, Natalie Chiafari, and today I have the pleasure to sit down with Sarah Denisco. Sarah is a senior media arts major with a minor in political science. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for having me.
Of course. So, being a media major, where was that kind of like spark, or where did you fall in love with production?
I think it was back in high school, honestly. Since I was little, I always wanted to work in film and television in some aspect. And I remember I was involved with this Future Business Leaders of America Club, and we had these statewide competitions that allowed you to compete in different business events. And one of them I always did every year was a digital production contest. And both years I was able to win, and it was pretty spectacular. And I said, you know, this is for me. People see what I'm doing, and I enjoy it. So that kind of sparked my interest.
That's awesome. So when you came to college, you knew immediately that, you know, you wanted to start in production, you declared your major, all that?
Yeah, so I actually started off with media and business.
Okay.
I thought that would kind of be a good conjunction of different aspects. I can work in the industry and also have that media talent. But then I ended up switching out of business because I didn't feel like it was exactly for me. So I ended up staying with media arts as my major and minoring in political science.
What made you want to minor in political science?
You know, I love things regarding human rights, global studies, politics in general, and I thought my filmmaking incorporated a lot of those aspects, so I wanted to have that background, that education, so I can combine it with my movies.
You say it incorporates, you know, film with your passion for helping people. Can you tell me a little bit about what kind of projects you've done to, I guess, show people like your love? So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I studied abroad in London my sophomore year, and during that time I was taking a lot of film and cinema classes there. And one of the projects was actually on gender. Oh, shut up. Wait, what was it on? It was wait, I'll start that over.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, where should I go again? From?
Go from just. Yeah, just start over.
Okay.
Pause. Okay, we're gonna ask a question again. Okay. So tell me a little bit about some of the productions or some of the things that you've made that kind of, you know, helping people and your media major. How did those two things correlate?
It all started, I studied abroad in London when I was a sophomore, and I was taking this one class that was called Human Rights in Film. And so they kind of let you pick any topic that you wanted. And the topic I chose was sexism and gender disparities. So I interviewed a lot of women, just different ages, different places they lived around London, and kind of their experience, and if they ever felt that they were you know, sexually harassed or faced in a situation where they felt that they were unequal to men. And so I think it was that documentary that I thought that I could have a voice through film and kind of show other people's stories.
That's awesome. And then you went to India as well. So did you also get to incorporate that when you went there?
Yeah, India as well. I was a freshman and I went on a 2-week photojournalism course in India with Professor Falco from Sacred Heart and 2 other media students. And our project was to create just a photo documentary of life in India and the people we were seeing. So I kind of had a Humans of India aspect of my photo documentary, and I was really able to see the different in culture, the different in people, and how that compared to where we are in the United States.
So you really enjoy, you know, using your media major to kind of tell a story through not necessarily maybe like someone's business or someone's life, but kind of more of an important issue that's going on.
Yeah, that's kind of been who I am as a filmmaker and a media student all throughout college. You know, I think coming here especially, this is a very news-oriented school rather than, you know, a big cinema production school. So I think I was kind of positioned in that way to start telling people's story, getting the truth through filmmaking, and I fell in love with that aspect of it though.
So you submitted a video to NESN Next Producer, and you know, I saw some clips of it. Now, was that also a story that you wanted to tell someone through like what you've been doing? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I entered the NESN Next Producer contest back in October, and I did it honestly as just I wanted to get my senior project done, and I thought this would be a great way to just make a quick movie. I didn't really think much would come about it. But so I needed a film subject, and it had to be anything related to sports. And my dad actually works in Bridgeport. He's a nurse, and he works with this woman named Naomi Dos Santos, and she's from France, and she's a Muay Thai kickboxer, and she's just she was like an ex-bodybuilder, model, and my dad was like, Sarah, you need to reach out to her. She's the perfect film subject. So I did, and getting to know her, she had a story far from what I ever expected. You know, she used Muay Thai kickboxing to kind of build herself up and to face some truths about herself. And she really used kickboxing through her journey as to find a peace within herself and also inner strength. So she was just absolutely awesome to do a film on.
So what was it like getting to know her and kind of like, working with somebody for so long? I'm sure like, you guys probably became a little bit closer than you expected.
Yeah, she honestly became one of my friends through the whole process. I would be emailing her all the time, and she was so great. She immediately said yes, no idea who I was, no idea what Nessun was, but she was like, yeah, sure, why not, I'll do it. So I went to all of her practices. She practiced in Stamford, Connecticut, so it wasn't too far from here, and yeah.
That's awesome. So when this whole contest, like how was that whole process with like, did you win? Like what happened like through that whole thing?
So it was kind of a crazy process. It took a little bit longer than I ever thought it was going to be. So it started in October. We had to submit our first film, and I was like, good, done, whatever, moving on. But then they told me from 24 submissions, I made it to the 12 finalists. I was like, awesome. And then from there, I made it to the top 3 finalists. There were 2 judges, Tom Warner, who's the owner of the Red Sox, and Brad Felchuk, who's a Hollywood producer of Glee, Nip Tuck, American Horror Story. So they kind of gave me feedback from my film and told me to, change a few things around. And then after that, me and the 2 other finalists had to create a Red Sox promotional video. The Red Sox marketing executive sat down with us, and they kind of told us what they wanted to see, and we had to make these 1-minute vignettes, and from there, yeah, so it was pretty cool. It was definitely different. I've never worked on something like that, especially for someone like the Red Sox. It's kind of a major industry, but.
That's awesome. So then did you end up winning, or do we not get to find that out yet, or?
No, sadly I didn't end up winning the full contest. I actually came in second. I was a runner-up.
Wow, that's still great though.
Yeah, so they offered me actually a producing position at Nessun through that, and also a position, if I wasn't able to accept that one, a position with Newfangled Studios, which is located in Boston.
That's awesome.
At least they kind of gave me those aspects from it, even though I didn't win the grand $20,000 prize.
Right, but I mean, you still scored a job in the meantime.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
cool.
And it was an awesome process. I really felt like I was in the media world for the first time and getting that awesome hands-on experience. So at the end of the day, I think it, was a good experience.
That's awesome. So since that whole process, what have you been doing with media? Have you gone back to telling stories? Have you kind of just taken a step back?
Yeah, I started to take a little bit of a break. I said, you know what? It actually just ended 2 weeks ago, the whole process. So I decided, let's finish out my senior year, kind of focus on that.
Right, of course. Well, I mean, congratulations on second place. That's
Thank you.
Awesome. So, I mean, that's fantastic. And I mean, I'm sure that video was I'm sure it blew the judges away. You should have won first.
I know. I was like, can I get a job in the Hollywood producing? I didn't win that. But.
That's great. Coming up after the break, we'll find out more about Sarah and her involvements. We'll be right back.
We are your future leaders.
We are united.
We are hockey players.
We are dancers.
We are athletes.
We are Catholic.
We are creators.
We are making a difference.
We are making the world a better place.
We are sisters.
We are brothers.
We are here to serve.
We are here to serve.
We are compassionate.
We are turning dreams into reality.
We are pioneers.
We are.
We are.
We are you!
Welcome back to Chat with Nat. We're sitting here with Sarah Denisco, and I've recently learned about her media study endeavors. So Sarah, you did say that you're not working on anything huge at the moment with media studies, but I also hear that you're also taking classes and doing something in a totally different department. You want to tell me about that?
I am. To some of my media professors' dismay, I am taking classes in nursing at the moment. A couple years ago, I kind of had this epiphany that I wasn't sure if I really wanted to work in the media industry, and I've always been interested in healthcare and human beings in general and helping them. And so I decided to start to look into nursing a little bit. So I took the prerequisites needed for nursing school, and right now I'm planning to do that after I graduate.
Wow, so you like totally took like a 180 after like everything that
probably
happened.
a 360, honestly. It's kind of just like...
When did that kind of happen? You say you kind of had an epiphany, and obviously I know from just your media experience that you like helping people, but what's like one of the main differences between telling a story and then also helping somebody like physically?
Right. Yeah, I was actually working at News 12 in Connecticut a couple years back for a summer job, just doing freelance associate producing. But while I was there, I just didn't really feel like that environment was for me. I felt like it was a little bit isolating and a little competitive, and I just couldn't see myself sitting at a desk job, you know, churning things out that I wasn't necessarily passionate about. So at the same time, I was also taking care of my grandmother while she was transitioning to a nursing home. And in those moments, I felt more fulfilled than I ever had before. And I just thought that this maybe is the right switch for me. But I think I can still incorporate my media. I still love film. It's still my number 1 passion as well. So I'm hoping that I can incorporate film and production with a nursing career and a career in healthcare.
I mean, just from listening to that, like, that's crazy. Well, crazy in a sense where it's just like...
As I tell people, I'm like, I'm kind of crazy, but...
Yeah, but in a very good, positive way. I mean, you took something you realized now while you were in college that you wanted to do something else with your time, and, you know, you took advantage of that.
Yeah, and I love that Sacred Heart allowed me to do that as well. You know, they said, it's all right, you're a media major, we know, but they signed off for me to take, you know, anatomy and physiology and chemistry and those classes that I needed. So I think it's pretty great that I was able to, you know, combine those two.
How did you find a balance? Because you're already so busy. I mean, you're in the honors program and you're involved in your sorority. So like, how did you find a balance to even just do any of those classes?
I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest with you. It felt like a rat race. But I think I was almost done with my media major. I'd taken all the classes necessary, so I kind of had that leeway and that time to incorporate, you know, my nursing classes. And also a lot of summer courses I had to do, but made it through.
Was there ever a moment where you felt like, oh my gosh, like this is way too much to handle, like I don't know if I can do this?
Not too much, actually. I'm pretty organized. I'm a good to-do list maker, so I was able to kind of just knock through things and keep a nice steady balance to life.
So did you have any clinicals or anything like that, or was it just kind of, you know, I'm just going to take the classes and see where this goes?
Yeah, exactly. That's all I did. I think I only had to take about 7 classes, what it was, but I think having that experience kind of with my grandmother and also volunteering at Ludlow Rehabilitation Center, some days that gave me that clinical experience. And also both of my parents are nurses, so just growing up I was able to watch them and hear their stories, and they helped me along the way.
So you said before that, you know, you're leaning towards graduation. Do you have an idea? You know, are you going to nursing school? Are you going to accept the job, you know, with being a producer? What are your plans?
I know, that's my fork in the road right now. I'm not sure. I think that part of me wants to work in media for 1 more year just to kind of see where it goes and see if it is really something I want to, you know, give up for a little while. So right now I'm between going to NYU for nursing school and also accepting a position at Newfangled Studios in Boston. So hopefully I'll decide in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see.
Well, Sarah, I wish you the absolute best of luck. I mean, I think that your passion just for helping people, no matter if you stay in media or if you go into nursing, I think that people, no matter who you work with, are really going to see that, and I think you'll be very successful.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So thank you also so much for coming on our show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been great.
Awesome. Thank you. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in for the first and final season of Chat with Nat. Fortunately, I'm very bittersweet about concluding my final show, but this has been a so successful run so far. From myself, the crew, we hope that you've enjoyed the show. See you next time.